Okay, we are looking at the Unit 3 study guide for Algebra 1. We're on page 4 now. How to evaluate a function. To evaluate a function, they're going to give you a number in the parentheses, and that represents the x. So you look at your problem here, and you're only looking at, so this is the h function. See the h? See the h? So you're looking at the right side of this problem here, and you're going to plug in 9 where you see an x. So if you plug in 9 plus 3, that line means divide by 4. Now you're going to simplify, use order of operations. So 9 plus 3 gives me 12, and then divide by 4. When you have a big fraction thing, you want to do all the stuff you can on the top or the bottom first before you divide the two answers. This is a common one people struggle with. There's those lines. Those lines mean absolute value. Again, they tell us x equals -4. So in this problem over here on the right, we're going to replace the x with -4. So 3 times -4, then bring down -18 in your absolute value sign. So 3 times -4 is -12 minus 18. So -12 minus 18 is -30. And when you take the absolute value of a number, that changes it to +30. Absolute value symbols change the number to a positive number there. Alright, let's try the next one. This time, here's my problem. Okay. This time they want us to plug into the problem 1/2. We're taking -4 times 1/2 plus 8, and then putting the whole thing over 18. Well, if you have a calculator, you can probably do this, or some of you might know it in your head. 1/2 of 4 is -2 plus 8. And -2 plus 8 is 6. And this time when you get to the end and we divide, you get this really long decimal. So what I would suggest doing is using your fraction button to reduce it, or it doesn't say it has to be in fraction form, but this one would reduce to, if you divide them both by 3, or to both by 6, that would be 1/3. Or if you use your calculator, you might have got 0.3 repeating. Both those answers are technically fine if you leave it in fraction form or you leave it in decimal form. Just so you can recognize both, because sometimes like the EOC or standardized multiple choice kind of tests, they only give you one of those, and you need to recognize it either way. Alright, so again, here's my f function. I'm going to look at the right hand side. They tell me to plug in the number 6, so -5 times 6 plus 12. We'll multiply those. -30 plus 12 equals -18. Alright, so that is function notation. They will give you an equation. You plug the number in the parentheses in where you see the x, and then you simplify it. Alright, this is some of our vocab. Use the function graph below to identify the requested information. A lot of people skip A here because they think, they think it's just part of the directions, but it says, part A, circle the x-intercept. X-intercept is where it hits the x-axis. So this would be an x-intercept, this would be an x-intercept, this would be an x-intercept. It's anywhere this little squiggly graph hits the x-axis. But again, a lot of people skip that because they think it's part of like just the words at the top, and they don't actually do part A. Make sure you do that step. The y-intercept, identify the ordered pair of the y-intercept. In this case, this is your y-axis here, so this right here is our y-intercept at 0, 0. The y-intercept is usually 0, and and then a number. That's usually how you write the y-intercept. In this case, it happened to be at 0 also, so it was just 0, 0. Identify the minimum ordered pair, relative minimum, and relative maximum. This is the part of the picture where you want to find the lowest point and the highest point. So, relative. That means not including the arrows. This right here would be relatively the minimum point. This point right here would be the maximum point. So I'd say the minimum ordered pair would be -1, -2. And the maximum ordered pair would be 1, 2. And they say this is relative because it's not including the arrows. It just means, in general, if there was a point that was the highest point or lowest point, that's what it would be.